Alrighty, guys. Next, we're gonna watch What is the Purpose of Your Life? Episode 1. Mike Israetel. Mike Israetel is the Giga Chart. I learned so much from this guy. Oh my god. Go check out his channel. Check out RP, Renaissance Periodization, and make some gains. Alright, let's go. You can just fast forward to here.
Starting out with a real banger here, really trying to conquer the world on today's video. The topic is the purpose of your life. That's right, your life, my life, everyone's life. Jeez, Mike. All right, confident start. Let's see me fuck this up. Here we go. So the subtitle is kind of towards an objective discovery of meaning, and I'm just going to try out to lay out some basic tenets. And you may not agree with them, and I'd love to know why you don't agree with anything I say in the comments. But I think a lot of people, maybe even the vast majority, might find what I say, if not a complete picture of what's going on, at least in its own little world, pretty uncontentious, likely to at least have some validity. So there's 3 specific things that I'm going to develop the rest of this conversation around. And here they are. These are assumptions. You can call them postulates. And I'll explain them each in their own much more long form, but I'm going to say them all 3 first. First, I'm assuming that life is a good thing, being alive is a good thing, and that being alive right now, and anything that stops you from doing that, fixing that is priority number 1. Being alive almost axiomatically is priority number 1, because anything else you had planned, I want to work for world peace, I want to disband nuclear weapons, I want to redistribute income more, equitably, or whatever, I want to go play basketball, rests on the fact that you are alive. Your life, you being alive, is number 1 to you. If it wasn't, a whole lot of shit wouldn't make sense, including your ability to give your life to others. So for example, if there's a grenade over there and there's your buddies around and you plan on jumping on it, you being alive enough right now to just do this and jump on it is priority number 1. Because if you step on a landmine as your first step and you are no longer alive, that grenade blows up and your buddies die anyway. So in almost every case I can think of, you being alive is priority number 1. A close second priority to anyone that admits
That's a
life
good
is good,
analogy.
and if you don't, whatever. Being alive later comes as a close second, right?
Yeah.
And I've sort of used a little ghetto term here myself I kind of made up. I'll do that a lot. Formally trained philosophers, I have a shitload of respect for you guys. I'm so fucking sorry. This channel's gonna suck, but maybe something will make sense. I have termed the ability to survive later as survivability. Because if you have a system of living things and you crank the time forward in the system, the things that disappear are not survivable, and the things that continue to perseverate from now through whatever you define as later can be termed survivable. Well, they're still fucking around. We have a term for that. I'm originally Russian, by the way. I'm from Russia. Живучий is like a very nasty way to say, like, if you like hit a fucking cockroach and then he runs off, you're like живучий, блядь, which means like, fucking son of a bitch, is too lifey. But in any case, survivability is a good thing because it allows you to survive later, not just right now. Point number 3. So 3 points. Improvement is the surest way to increase survivability, because if we really want to be alive, not just now, but later, who we are and how we interact with the world absolutely determines our survivability. And our ability to improve our survivability is a big deal. So we got being alive now is fucking sweet. Being alive later is fucking sweet. And while I swear to God, McAfee. Oh, guys, hold on. McAfee ran a scan and found no viruses. I found a fucking virus. It's you. Fuck. I swear to God. Anyway, being alive now is sweet. Being alive later is cool. While you are alive later, and if you want to take that later and expand it out as far as possible, improving your ability in that time called later to be more survivable gives you more laters to add on to that little graph. Let's take a look at all these one at a time.
Good points.
Okay, life's a good thing. Sweet. That sounds right. Let's dig in a little bit and see if we can cause any problems here for this kind of logical structure. So number 1, life is a good thing. Being alive now is priority number 1. If we prefer life over death, this makes life generally good and death generally bad. Okay, generally bad on average. Yes, I know Hitler's death was a good thing. I agree. But that's a special case. Let's just talk about averages. Thus, if life is a good thing, and we tend to agree that it is, actions on our parts that support life at this given moment, right now, are generally, on average, better than actions that support a higher chance of death in this imminent moment. This can be used in the personal context. For example, don't kill yourself, right? If you think life is good, killing yourself may be a thing you can do, but is unlikely to be the correct answer to this whole grand puzzle of existence, kind of by definition. Second point on that is make sure you're doing things right now that at least keep you living for a little while. So for example, don't neglect to support life's existence in your own very body by neglecting to eat. It's not very long-sighted. Drink, take medicine, right? A lot of people have this like very sophomoric junior high view of like, what if we all live in the Matrix, man, and our reality is like subjectively projected out? Like, okay, can you rephrase that? Like, we're just living in a dream, man. Like, okay. So like, are you not going to drink water or eat food? Because I don't need to do that in dreams to stay alive. Nobody has a clever response to that I've ever heard. They actually, take that back. They have plenty of clever responses, and they're all fucking hypocrites because they go home and they drink water and eat fucking food and take their fucking daily medicine, which is a good thing. You're supposed to do that. The fatal conceit, admitting that you are alive and are a physical system that relies on food, water, and sometimes medicine, is a good thing. And lastly, you probably want to consider, at least give thought to consider, avoiding extreme risk if you like your life. Okay? Like running up to a gangster and just slapping him and just standing there. Fuck, shoot me, baby. He just might. And that would be bad because life's a good thing. If this sounds really obvious, don't worry, I'll get to the real crazy implications in just a bit. But it's also good that it sounds obvious, as it fucking is. The preference for life can also extend into the not personal, into the social, potentially. If you like your life, that's sweet. If you like life in general, not killing anyone else, probably a good thing, right? Just throwing that out there. And we could even consider that at least needlessly killing a shitload of animals and maybe even plants is not the best thing in the world. That's if you like life in general. We'll get to all the categories of what you can like and not like as far as life is concerned, starting from you, then extending to friends and family, members of your community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if you like life, then some of these things should make some sense. Okay, sweet. Let's tentatively accept that now. Or you can just start writing in the comments on wrong. Totally cool. Number 2, being alive later is a close second, very high priority. And that ability we can term survivability, your ability to survive into the later. If you do, you are survivable, at least for that time. If you do not, you are not survivable. Because here's the real kicker. Every now is yesterday's later. So if you are safe and alive and comfy and warm in the here and now, right now, priority 1 is grayed out because you already did it. Like if your ancestors are sitting in a warm cave with a fire, I don't know how that works. The fire chokes you to death in a cave. Fuck what I know. Whatever, hut with the fucking roof cut open for the fire. Fed, warm, have enough water, everyone's cool. Do you just sit there and chill and enjoy life? You could, at least for some time. But then it would probably dawn on you that, yes, while you have the conditions to support your life now, those conditions may change later on. And it may concern you greatly that you have an influence on those conditions, and you might take the future hour, 2 hours, day, etc., rest of your lifetime, to work to set up the conditions to increase your survivability. Because shit being dope is sweet right now, but shit being dope that does not result at least in your death later is really cool, because every now is just yesterday's later. However much you want to like pretend reality isn't real or time isn't linear or whatever bullshit, shit will catch up to you, and you want to be alive when it does. So that's a big deal, big revelation. Entropy is a real thing, and the ever-present risk of death is nearly guaranteed, right? Death is a thing, and it's common, and it's coming for pretty close to everybody. So the way to reduce the risk of your untimely, at least death, is to make yourself more survivable into the future. Using the fact that you're alive now and can alter your environment around you, it may behoove you to alter that environment in such a way as to keep you alive for a bit longer than just now, right? Now, there are at least 2 ways I can think of, and probably a bunch more that I haven't thought of, but at least 2 ways that you can increase your individual survivability, or that a person can increase their individual survivability. One is to increase their individual robustness, becoming smarter, seeing with higher visual acuity, being stronger physically, being able to run faster, defend yourself better, hunt animals, type on a computer and earn money, whatever. OnlyFans, some shit like that. If you increase your individual ability, which I've termed robustness, then you are more survivable. But, and here's the huge revelation from any study of social dynamics at any level, the reason we have societies, and the reason that societies of humans are so dominant on the planet, is that it turns out if individuals cooperate with other individuals in certain respects, the survivability of each individual goes up drastically. Like, whoever the fuck invented pain meds, antibiotics, fucking tanks to protect us from Nazis and shit like that. We owe them motherfuckers a lot because they're on the same team as we are, and cooperating with them and trading or somehow exchanging favors for them so that they give you some kind of protection or favor, etc. That is the basis of society. There's nothing mystical to it at all. It just is better for you to be on a team than not on a team. So increase cooperation with other individuals to help each other stay alive into the future. You are more
All
powerful
of this makes
in
sense.
many cases as a member of a team than you are by yourself. But that's not like, man, it's just all team. There's no I in team. Fuck that. There's a me in team, first of all. And second of all, if everyone on the team is better at shit, the whole team gets better. If anyone on the team is better at shit, the whole team gets better. So it's not either or. There's no trade-off there. It's individually, if you become more adept, and if you ally yourself with other people that are anywhere between net neutral adept and positive adeptness, usually that works out to everyone's advantage, or at least to yours very selfishly. So if we value life in the very here and now, we know that later will be in the very here and now, quite soon or in some distant future, but it inevitably sneaks up. We should seek to increase our individual robustness and our ability to cooperate with other life forms if we really give a shit about being alive in the future. If not, fuck it. Smoke that ciggy and cash out. Whatever. You can just fucking close out this video and end it all. I'm kidding. Jesus Christ. That'll for sure get us kicked off, huh? Scott the video guy. Like, Mike, we canceled your YouTube channel. There's no less than 52 references to
Getting
suicide.
cancelled every video.
Fuck. All right. So, some bad ideas in this regard. If you are short-sighted and you're slacking on developing your individual robustness, your ability to survive into the future as an individual, that's not a good idea, right? So, which is why it probably irks you at some deep level when someone's like 5,000 pounds overweight and smoking 8 cigarettes at the same time and drinking, and they're like, fuck it. And you're like, yeah, all right.
I saw a video of this Indian guy smoking 8 cigarettes at
When
once.
shit hits the fan, you don't want to be yourself, you know? Probably not.
So disgusting.
In addition to that, if you were in a social sphere, which we all definitely are, we're all humans listening to this, probably AI, hello, don't kill me, AI, then there is an idea that you compete with other people, which is true in many respects. But all of those people are on your team, and cooperation almost always produces net benefits over individual action by itself. So short-sighted, deleterious competition is a bad deal. Let's just take a real simple hypothetical example. We're in the Pleistocene era. We're sort of devolved humans. We live in a little tiny tribe, and there's like carnivorous 10-foot-tall birds fucking running around, right? That's fucking real life, by the way. That's the way the shit was, like, whatever, 50,000 years ago. And if you are like one of the contenders for being alpha male,
they're from above,
and the other alpha male contender's like, fuck are you gonna do about it, little bitch? You're like, damn, perfect English with slang. I didn't know they spoke that back in the day. And, you know, he turns around and you jab him in the Achilles tendon with your fucking stick, and the shit rips a little bit, and he's limping, and you're like, oh, motherfucker. And he's like, oh, okay, cowers. He runs away, and you're like, ha, I did it. And then the giant 10-foot bird comes up to your village, and it's like, what's up? Who's talking now? And you're like, oh, shit. Hey, Jim, you want to come help me kill this fucking bird? And he's like, no, my calf is fucked up, you asshole. You fucked me. You're like, holy fuck, we're both going to get eaten while we're still alive by a giant predatory 10-foot bird because I was short-sighted as fuck and didn't realize the person I hurt was on my fucking survival team, goddammit. So short-sighted, shitty competition is a fucking bad idea, as is not improving your own skills and abilities to become better at surviving. All because life is better than death for you. Purely selfishly, there's no need to appeal to altruism or anything like that. Just because you want to fucking live and you realize the people around you in a cooperative manner can help you and you can help them. Like, fuck helping them. You'll do that, but just to fucking play along. But if they help you, your chance of survival goes up. And if you help them, their chance of survival goes up so that they can help you later. And it just keeps going like that. And everyone ascends. By the way, that's what caused civilization. You're welcome. I just solved the fucking problem. Bad news for predatory birds because we literally fucking killed them all, literally with fucking teamwork. But good news for people interested in survival. To that end, and I already cracked open this analogy, so fuck it, let's roll with it. You can look at survival as a team sport. You want every player, individual in this case, to be as good as possible at the game of survival. You want the team, which is society at any level, just you and one other person, family, friendship group, tribe, close-knit community, you know, city, state, society, ecosystem, etc. You want the whole team to cooperate as well as possible. You guys have seen, no doubt, basketball games. We have like 3 superstars on the team. They all fucking hate each other. So they get beat by teams that just have like not one superstar and a couple of just role players, and they can beat that good team just because they cooperate better. Cooperation's a motherfucker. It's for real. So you want every player to be as good as they can. You want the team to gel as well as possible, because in the real world, real life, winning is continuing to be alive and losing is death, which is kind of permanent. Like, after you lose a basketball game, you're like, oh, man. And if you're in the NBA, you're like, strip club? And they're like, yeah, fuck. After you lose in life, you're dead, and there's no strip club, as far as I know. Unless you go to hell. Scott the video guy, they must have strip clubs in hell, yes?
Dude, where do all
go when they die?
Heaven? How dare you? The good ones go to heaven. Anyway. All right. So that was 2 points. Being alive is sweet right now. Being alive is sweet later, so we need to be survivable. And number 3 is improvement is the surest way to increase survivability. So far, we're all players. Some of us more than others. You know what I'm saying? Play on, playa. Scott, the video guy, remember in the 90s?
How is he
people
so
did this two
fun
fingers
and
for a player
informative
type of
at the
shit?
same time?
They did this?
Oh
yeah. Is that still a thing?
Totally. You should start.
Yes. 1996 was a great year. Will Smith was popular. He wasn't going around slapping motherfuckers. Just in the movies. All right. We're all players on a team. The team is any level of analysis you want. Friends, family, business, city, state, country, world, ecosystem, planet. And the sport is survival. Now that's tactics. So far, so good. What about strategy? In other words, what increases survivability of any given unit, including especially yourself, but all the whole team too, in the long term, long term? I can think of at least 4 things that improve our ability to survive into the long term. And by R, I now mean life. Okay? At least human life and probably animal life too. First is numerical multiplication. Second is spatial expansion. Third is diversification. And 4th is transformative ability. You guys know, like the movie Transformers, where that one guy, who was the main actor in the Transformers movie, that little kid? You never watched the classic American movie, the Transformers? Unbelievable. Guys, Scott the video guy doesn't like superhero movies. Can we please get some comments shitting on him for that? The best movies. Megan Fox was in that shit, huh? Wasn't she evil or some shit?
Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yes, of course.
He's dreamy. Such a good actor. Right?
I think Megan Fox was a Transformer.
Yeah. I'm saying, I got something for you to transform, girl. JK, don't cancel me. All right. 4 of these things, let's talk about each one of them. Numerical multiplication is just more people. So if you have a band of 3 members, some shit can go down and all 3 of you motherfuckers get killed, arguably by the same 10-foot predatory bird. If there's 300 of you, Birdie has another thing coming. And also, if a shitload of giant predatory birds come in and kill off half your village, you still have 150 people, and they can do more numerical expansion by reproducing later and still rebuild. So more teammates equals better gameplay in a sense. The more people you have to cooperate with, the better the team. Like, think of basketball, but you're allowed to have as many members on the team as possible. The fuck? You got 5 NBA All-Stars and then 40 regular people. Well, again, it's just a matter of keep away the ball and get in the way at that point. 40 regular people could probably beat 5 NBA All-Stars. It's crazy when you think about it, right? But in life, there's not any rules like that. So more people is generally better. And because there's a cooperative element where more people help each other out, it's a huge summative effect. And also because, you know, like real bad shit goes down, comet hits half the fucking earth and half the people die, at least you got the other half, right? So more's better if you just, for one thing and the one thing dies, you're kind of fucked. Next is spatially. So it definitely increases survivability to have just more people. Survivability of the social unit. Spatial expansion is next. If you want to survive in the long term, it's better to have inhabitants on 2 islands rather than 1. Like one island gets a crazy disease or a big ass tidal wave, technically tsunami, we're not supposed to say tidal wave anymore, it's not caused by the tides, washes the shit away. If you have 2 islands, you kind of in some sense, or of many scenarios, have double the chances of surviving, right? 2 continents is better than 1 because some real crazy shit go down on one continent. If you have another continent, then, you know, it's a good idea that probably not the same crazy shit's going to go on there. To Elon Musk's point of trying to get us the fuck over to Mars or whatever, colonize that shit, 2 planets better than 1. You know, like,
but he's
right
always
now,
implying that there's going to be
in
something negative.
Like, we have a lot of balls as a civilization. Like,
Or could be, I
we
guess.
can destroy our world if we want. Like,
It's
we're
just
in
human
charge,
nature,
and we
no?
can shoot nukes at comets and knock them out of the sky for sure. But like, if a black hole comes through,
Evil.
like, hey, we got nothing for that. And we're on one fucking planet. Fast forward some number of years, if we've colonized like most of the solar system, at least moons with actual surfaces, you know, if Earth gets destroyed, it's kind of like, oh shit, that's fucked. But then it's like, okay, it's not the end of the world, literally, because there's still, you know, beings on other planets. So spatial expansion is a big deal, and it has to be in the conversation for like tools to make survival of the whole species, at least, much more likely. Next, diversification. If you have teammates, other people in your social sphere in the society that can survive in the heat, others that can survive in the cold, some that survive best in the daylight, those of us that are vampires, that survive in the darkness better, some people getting their energy in solar panels from the sun, other people getting their energy from nuclear reactors on the ground, etc., etc. That is a good thing, because if some fucked up shit happens and one of those ecosystems or environments takes kind of a shit, other teammates from other ways of surviving can help. And also, even if they can't help, then at least they're still around and they rely on different methods of survival. And if, you don't have to, but if you like life in general, like all life on Earth, if you're one of those hippy-dippy motherfuckers, which I for sure am, but get made fun of a lot for that. If you like all life, then more diversity of life forms also increases the long-term survivability of just straight up life, right? Because like if we're the dinosaurs and this was like 65 million years ago and the asteroid's like just outside of you right now and I'm like, we're the shit, fuck all the other species, boom, we're fucking dead. Like if the dinosaurs had a thing where they just eliminated every species around them somehow, then they died from the comet or whatever the fuck, there'd be bad news. There'd be no life. Luckily, there was all kinds of life teaming. And when the dinosaurs, kicked the can, other shit came through, mammals came through, boom, evolution. What's up, mammals? That's a good thing to call someone as like a friend. What's up, mammal? Because it's not wrong. And then they're like, come here. You're like, what? They're like, I'm a lizard person. You're like, oh shit, you're in the Illuminati? They're like,
A lizard bet, Taylor.
You know how it works. You've seen, what's that Nicolas Cage movie? Scott the Video Guy? American treasure hunting movie with Nicolas Cage. National Treasure. I watched that movie and I wanted it to be good, but it just never was. Oh, what? You liked it?
John Voight said it.
Yes. I'm sure he's so proud of his role. Can you imagine? You see, you see John Voight on the plane. You're like, you're John Voight. He's like, well, yes. You're like, you were National Treasure. He's like, Jesus Christ, the fuck is that supposed to mean, kid? Get out of my face. I'm trying to forget that movie. All right. So diversification, pretty cool, pretty useful. Lastly, and probably most importantly, is what I have termed transformative ability. The ability to transform matter and energy more than less seamlessly, easier, faster, more efficiently, more readily, from what it's currently in, whatever state that is, to a form that increases survivability. Like we take sunlight, weird crops that taste like shit, giant farting animals that are weird and scary, and a bunch of energy from all that shit, industrial processes, transform matter into cheeseburger, which helps our survival. That's pretty sweet. All plants and animals do this, some better than others. And that ability to transform matter and energy into things that are more conducive for survival than less can emanate from increased individual robustness. Like if you're out in the fucking wilderness in a crash plane and someone there's like, I'm actually a really good hunter and my gun's right here and full of bullets. You're like, fuck, thank God for that guy. Or because he's going to transform an animal from alive and pissed at you into marginally more edible by killing it. And if someone in your, survival plane crash thing is like, I can start a fire fucking anywhere. I was actually on my way to jail being a pyromaniac. You're like, fuck yeah, just don't burn us and cook that fucking animal. So individual robustness absolutely helps, but also social cooperation helps. Social cooperation at higher and higher levels of cooperation, from families to city-states to societies to global economies, jumps quality leaps in the ability to transform shit. Like, who the fuck made this mouse? I know Amazon Basics put their label on it. I have no fucking clue where any of this shit comes from. And nor does anyone who had any part in making the mouse, except for like maybe the project manager, but really his job is to look at prices and sort all that shit and make timelines. So society makes crazy shit like a fucking iPhone and shit like that. This desk, lights, all this fucking bullshit that is just insane to think about. No individual can fucking make. So our ability to transform the world around us into one that is very survivable. Think of like being inside a house. Like that's a house is impressive. It's got fucking heat, protects you from wind. Animals ostensibly can't just walk in and kill you. It's a way more survivable environment, which was transformed on purpose through the combination of individuals with their robustness, like a fucking builder who's good at shit, an air conditioning installer who's good at his job, engineers way far away that built the air conditioner, transportation systems that got all that together, and so on and so on and so on. So there is no huge clash between the individual's existence and society's existence. It's like teamwork. We're all on the same team. And transformative ability gets way better if you play along better together. All right. So what we have so far. First, life is better than death. If you disagree with that, first of all, I got pause. If you're a Satanist chick, I'm already married, unfortunately, but hello anyway. Other than that, okay. Life is better than death. I think we can agree on that. Second, setting up for survival in the future, not just now, promotes life in the future. And the future is now. And then it's now. So the future is always, so it's a good idea to set up for the future. And set up what? Make yourself more survivable. But how do you do that? That's point number 3. Improving your survivability in the distant future increases the chances that life will go on. Now, if you are purely selfish, you need to have a cooperative growth mindset that lasts almost as long as your life will, because you want to survive into the future. Like, if you're selfish as fuck and someone's like, hey, like, you know, you need to pay for stuff instead of stealing it, because if you pay for food at the store, it'll be there more of it tomorrow. If everyone just starts stealing shit, the incentives for production drop off completely, everyone becomes a hoarder, and everything goes to fucking hell. So if you were purely fucking selfish, like sociopath shit, you should probably still pay for shit at the store, not litter where you live, because you want shit to at least stay good until you're like,
It's making so much
a couple
sense.
of weeks or days or hours away from your own death.
I like how he,
You
to everything
also,
he
if you're
says, he like adds
purely
another
fucking
step.
selfish, want to have an attitude towards cooperation
Multiple
that
layers of
supports
sense. It's so
currently
good.
younger people in society, because once you're old and decrepit and mostly useless, years and years from now, they're going to be the productive players on your team that are doing the heavy lifting. You want them to be good, you know, like, oh, goddamn kids and fucking TikTokers, which I totally feel. But on the other hand, like, I want the kids to be good at shit so that when I'm old and fucking useless, somebody can take care of my dumb ass and they're fucking good at stuff. So purely for selfish reasons, we're already 90% of the way to being a socially harmonious fucking person. If you only care about your progeny, you and your direct descendants, you need to care about the rest of society and the environment, like physically earth and fucking water and trees and shit like that, because your progeny will be living in that environment, and you typically don't want to piss and shit in your own fish tank, so to speak. And also, you want to care about other people too in the society, because your people will be living with them. Do you want your kids and grandkids to be living in a super advanced society with flying cars and instant package delivery and all the diseases that occur and shit like that? Or do you want them to be living like fucking hand to mouth and fucking fear and agony and the sky is all fucked up Matrix style? Probably not, right? So even on purely selfish grounds that just extend only altruism you extend is to your own kin, society as a whole should be a very big concern for you, because that's the other players on the team in which your kids and grandkids are going to be playing. And the environment too is a big deal, because yeah, when you croak, fuck the environment, I'm going to smoke 80 cigarettes, fuck global warming, see if I care. They're like, yeah, well, your grandkids are going to get fucked. You're like, God damn it. Try to ash the cigarette and move on with life. If you only care, we're going on levels here, about the human race, fuck all the animals, then you definitely should still care about the climate and the ecosystem, because we're living in it. And if it collapses or some crazy shit or really terrible weather starts, and look, hey, real talk, I'm a global warming realist, which means I think it's real. I'll get to that video at some point. It's contributing to it is man-made for sure, but wildly overstated in its negative effects and how bad it is and how soon it will be real bad by politically motivated, insane leftists. But don't worry, I'll make fun of
I
conservatives.
stand behind everything he
But they
says.
don't have a lot of guns to kill me with. I'm just kidding. We'll get into making fun of everyone. I mean, really, we're just all going to try to get along. In any case, if you just care about people, you at least want to care about something like the ecosystem and the environment, because of the fish tank analogy. Like if you have a tent and you wake up at night and you feel like taking a dump, you don't take a dump in your own tent. And since humans have a fucking society, a civilization that has covered the entire globe, the globe is the tent. And we don't, like, you know, throwing plastics in the ocean and shit. I kind of like want the ocean not to have a ton of plastics in it. Fuck these turtles, man. I don't give a fuck about the turtles. I mean, I do, because I'm a little bitch. But if I put on my fuck the turtles hat, I don't give a fuck about the turtles. Let's say I don't. I don't want to step into plastic when I'm fucking in Cancun trying to bathe in this beautiful fucking ocean. I don't want the ocean all kinds of weird colors and shit. So it still pays, even if you're purely on team human, which I sure as shit on that team, it pays to care about other shit because you're living it. And if you care about all life, you're one of these Gaia type motherfuckers, sort of like me in some sense, then you care about everything listed so far, every human, every etc., everything, like ecosystem, and of course, the survival of a mass diversity of species in addition to ours. Like, you know, because it's kind of fucked up. Like, we could do this whole progress thing and keep most of the animals alive, or we could just, like, fucking kill all the bald eagles and be like, Daddy, what's a crocodile? Like, yeah, we used to have them, but, like, fucking fucked up the rivers. They don't exist anymore. Like, it's cooler if at least some of the animals stick around. No matter what, if you like life, even just your own, you are going to behave in ways, or at least think I should behave in ways, logically, based on everything we've talked about so far, that a lot of other people who realize I'm alive, I want to be alive in the future and as far as possible after this, you're going to start to value a lot of the same things as those other people that have thought this through. You're going to want to strive towards many of the same common goals, like everyone gets richer, the communities are safer, the streets are cleaner, shit that kind of nobody disagrees on. We'll get to that in its own lecture. You're going to want society and ecology to look a certain way. Like, I don't really know anyone who, like, looks at this beautiful, like, boreal forest of pine trees rocking back and forth and, like, that's awful. Nuke that shit. Put a fucking crater in there instead. Like, really, man? Like, nature's whatever. I'm into sometimes I'm not. But, like, you know, most people can agree that some shit is probably cool looking and other shit's less preferred. Because they've thought it down to the basics, and it starts with just one kernel that you want to live. But not just now, also later. And also later, so robustness, teamwork, etc. And we come to all this, that everything matters. So today, tomorrow, and hopefully a while longer. Thus, back to the meaning of your life. The meaning of your life can simply only be to keep living. And that gives you a lot of shit to do. It gives you making sure you're surviving now, which is like, you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably fine right now. Like, unless you're in a cave and you're running out of air and you're like, I don't know how the fuck we still have Wi-Fi, but I guess this is the last video I'll ever see. If that's the case, I'm sorry. Don't watch this. Jesus, watch some adult films or something. In any case, if you're probably alive and doing just fine right now, but you may care about doing fine later. So you have all kinds of stuff to do to increase your robustness. You can work on your health. You can work on trying to make more money. You can work on trying to buy a better house in a safer neighborhood. You
This
can
video
work on
cured
trying to,
me.
Politically
I'm
go
getting
active
cured
and
right
petition
now.
the government to be like, hey, like in a way that makes sense for everyone, let's clean up the environment and shit like that. There's lots to do if you just care about your life being better and continuing on. That's it. Now, the meaning of your life has to be that. It must. Because if it's not, you're just not alive anymore for much longer. Or you're a fucking pest on society. Other people have to keep you alive, which sucks. It can totally be other things too. I'm not saying like, this is the meaning of everyone's life and there's a new religion and shut up and make progress or you're out. No, fuck no. It has to be you work on making yourself at least alive into the next few hours and hopefully longer. But, you can also have a ton of other meaning in life generated from all kinds of other stuff. Sex, food, art, which I know nothing about, family, religion, transcendence, tons of other meanings you can derive, but at least it has to be survival. Because, axiomatically, if you are not alive, you can't enjoy any of those other things at all. So I promised an objective discovery of meaning. Meaning for your life that is not subjective, it's objective, it's just true. Here it is. The purpose that you have, your purpose in life, is at least to ensure that your life goes on now, tomorrow, and thereafter. That's all I'm claiming. It's not rocket science, but I think it's probably true. So put another way, your purpose is to live and to improve your survivability in the future, because you also want to be alive in the future. This means that at every single level of analysis, you and we together can figure out what's better to do because it is more life promoting for you, for the village, society, ecosystem, etc. And what's worse to do, like what's less life promoting for you or for any level of analysis, you, your family, society, etc., etc. That improvement of survivability into the future has a name. Point number 3 has a name, shorthand, and it is progress. Progress is what takes from our probability of life continuing in its current state out to a few days to a few weeks. That's progress. A few weeks to a few months to a few years to decades to millennia. And it makes that probability of life more and more secure. A higher probability of life for longer into the future. That's progress at the very least. And it can mean a ton of other things as well. So if you think about it long enough, your purpose, my purpose, their purpose is to progress, to become better at survival. Now, tomorrow, after that. Or at the very least, not shit on anyone else's progress. So that the rest of us can get along with making shit better. Because better is better than worse. Wow, that wasn't really a point, was it? So, the mission of this channel going forward after this video and until we get canceled is, because an objective purpose of life is progress, maybe not the only purpose, but an objective purpose of life is to progress, because that's how life goes on. We'll focus on how to produce, support, and expand progress in, I have this written down, all of its many forms, it's a bit conceited, in at least some of its many forms. Personal progress, moral progress, social progress, technological progress, economic progress, political progress, environmental progress, and so on, and so on, and so on. So that's just kind of what we're going to talk about. And that's what this whole channel is going to be. We're going to do all kinds of funky, weird videos, much like this one, that takes separate issues and peel them apart. And interestingly enough, we just did this whole video. I don't know how long it is. It felt like
Oh
it
wow,
was
the
a really
video
long
is
time.
done already.
We talked a lot about the purpose of life, but not one fucking single time did I ever mention happiness. What the fuck is up with that? What a crazy idea to talk about the purpose of life and just not even pay lip service to happiness. Why the hell did I do that? Because I'm baiting you motherfuckers into watching next time's video, which will be about how happiness interacts with the purpose of your life and what it all means. And, you know, like Arnold would say, come with me if you want to live. Nine. And I think I mostly do the Arnold impressions on the other channel, but fuck it, why not do them here too? All right. Philosophically, see you guys next time.
Wow, the Giga Chat, dude. Wow, I love him so much.
I mean, if you're doing
Everything he says makes so much sense, and the way how he adds layers and thinks forward, the steps ahead of why is really nice. I like it, dude. And he says it in a way that you can easily understand it, and it just makes sense and click so much, right? I'm gonna watch this every day now till I feel better. I already feel a little better. That was a great one. We're gonna watch more from this progress channel for sure. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, as I did. Good one.